Welcome back to Josiah Plays the Book of Unwritten Tales. Here I am at the Sunken Temple right outside, playing Ivo. I'm going to talk to Captain Nate, who's up here on his ship, even though we can't actually see him. He's up there.
Captain Bonnet? Are you quite sure that you're repairing that airship?
Sure. Why wouldn't I be?
It's raining breadcrumbs. Don't tell me that we took that detour yesterday solely to get your bread rolls.
What are you implying?
So it was just incompetence. I thought as much. Did you intend to throw the jar at my head? Hello?
Ivo just can't get good help. So he just threw a jar down here, and it sounds like he's asleep up there.
I'd rather bite off my own tongue than have to talk to him again.
She's not a big fan of Captain Nate. Alright, what did I get? A glass jar?
A little glass jar with a lid. There are still traces of jam left in it.
Lovely. Alright, let's start looking around at everything here. There's a branch laying on the ground here.
A snapped branch, presumably from one of the trees up there. Strange vegetation here. Normally these sorts of plants and trees are more likely to be found in the south.
Well, let's take it. It may prove useful.
A branch slightly over 1 meter long.
What else is here? The dry earth.
One of the paving stones is broken. You can see the earth under it. The earth is hard and dry.
Dry
One of the paving
earth.
stones is...
Fish bones.
How did that fish get here? Maybe a seabird left it.
Maybe.
Or it was a flying fish.
Right.
They do exist. Grandad's squadron was called the Flying Hellfish.
You don't say.
A brave little chap, but I can manage perfectly well on my...
Let's take the fish bones.
I'll just take one bone. You never know when a small, sharp, curved thing might come in handy.
You never know when you need a fish bone.
A small, sharp and curved fish bone.
Looks suspiciously like a hook. Maybe I'm gonna make a fishing pole here with this branch and this fish bone. Water.
The sea swallowed the temple and the artifact of divine fate. If everything goes well, we'll claim it back again today. The sea swallowed the...
Okay, well there's the ocean. The dry earth. Look at this. We have... Well, let's come over here and look at this stuff first. Look at the ledge.
I'd better not stand on that. Looks unsafe. I'd better not stand...
And what do we have out here? It says something about fire fairies. Oh, those are fire fairies, I guess.
Those are fire fairies. They're very rare. I haven't seen any for 200 years. Fire fairies consist of pure fire. They have to gather nectar the whole day to maintain their flame.
Cool.
Those are fire...
I want some of those in a jar. No? No love there, huh? Okay.
I'd better not... Fire fairy...
Here's the line.
Human ropes are so primitive. They get dirty, they rot, and they break.
As opposed to elven ropes? See if we can take this rope. Yeah, we can.
Human ropes are so primitive. They get dirty, they rot, and they break.
And what's this? Water bucket.
Captain Bonnet can get water up from the sea with a bucket whilst the airship's still in flight. But I don't have a clue what he does with it after that. He certainly doesn't wash with it.
Alright, now we have a bucket full of water.
Bucket's half full of water.
Alright, let's see. What else do we have here? Look at the little alcoves.
4 little alcoves positioned around the entrance. There are strange symbols under each alcove which I can't read. Under those are words in the old language. Creature of the air is how I'd translate this.
Alright, so one of them says creature of the air.
Creature of the earth is written there.
One of them says
Creature
creature of the earth.
This is the alcove for the creature of air. Creature of...
Okay, this one.
Creature of fire is written under this alcove.
Okay.
This alcove has creature of water written on it.
So we need a creature of water, a creature of fire, air, and earth. And then there's the door itself.
This must be the entrance to the temple. In the past, it must have been a side entrance or something. The actual temple with the main entrance has sunk into the ocean. I hope the connection to it's still intact behind this door.
One must hope.
It's not budging an inch.
I see.
I'd rather bite off my own tongue than have to talk to him again.
Alright, so interesting symbols around here.
It's not budging an inch.
Alright, well, I need to get... Oh, and then there's a beehive.
The bee's nest is definitely inhabited. There are bees buzzing around all over the place and they're fighting the fire fairies for the nectar. I'm supposed to reach into the bee's nest and steal the honey while the bees are still in the nest. Forget it.
Alright, she's not going for that. Can I use the jar to catch some...
I'm supposed to reach into the...
I can't catch bees with the jar? No? Okay. Let's see here.
Hello, Cheep Cheep. Maybe you could help me to get at the honey in the bee's nest. Perhaps you could distract them. You can fly so much better than them.
Hey, cool. Cheep Cheep is gonna distract them. So Cheep Cheep flies off, the bee's chasing him. Oh, he's flying circles around him. Oh, meanwhile, I can get some
Quick,
honey.
while Cheep Cheep's distracting the bees. There isn't much honey in the glass and it's covered in bits of honeycomb, but there's enough for a sandwich.
Yeah, I got some honey.
There's not much honey in the jar and what's there's covered in bits of honeycomb, but there's enough for a sandwich.
A sandwich, huh? Alright, so I got some of that. Also, let's see if we can get Cheep Cheep to be a creature of the air for us, for the alcove.
Hello, Cheep Cheep. There are 4 little alcoves by the entrance, and creature of the air is written under one of them. Well, I just wondered if you could perhaps go into the alcove for a bit. Oh, get out of here, it's not a trap. Female intuition. Oh well, I'll fill the other alcoves first, and then we can talk again, okay?
Alright.
See you, Cheep Cheep.
Fill the other alcoves, then Cheep Cheep might agree to,
I can manage perfectly well on my own.
Okay, let's make a fishing line. Using the line...
I've tied the fishbone to the end of the string. I've tied the fishbone to the...
And then we'll tie that to the stick.
I've tied the rope to the stick, and at the end of the rope the fishbone acts as a hook. Just missing the bait now.
Bait, huh? Oh, maybe I can get some worms out of the earth. So I'll pour some water on the dry earth.
The earth is sucking the water up like a sponge. Something's moving in the earth.
Yeah, let's get some worms.
There are worms. The water's enticed them up. I'll take a few before they disappear again.
Excellent. So now I should have everything.
A handful of worms. They look just like worms.
Just like worms. Worms onto the hook.
That gives me a fully functional fishing rod.
Yeah, it does.
A handful of...
Look at the fishing rod.
This is the second fishing rod I've built for myself in the last 2 days.
Oh, and you know what? Taking these worms, I could put them into the... Which one's the creature of earth one? Earth alcove. Here we go.
I'll place several creatures of the earth into the alcove.
Excellent.
I've put several worms into the little alcove. Perhaps they'll pass as creatures of the earth.
Now I need to do some fishing. Catch a fish.
Hey, Wilbur, could you give me a hand?
Of course.
Can you catch a fish for me?
I never fished before. I'm from the mountains.
It's very simple and completely safe. Come here.
Alright, so we give Wilbur the fishing rod.
And now?
Now you cast the line and wait for a fish to bite.
I should...
Just throw it in.
Uh-oh. Oh, no!
How do you know if a fish is bitten?
I knew he was going to do that.
Oh,
One's bit!
that's great.
But now how do you get it? Oh, is she going to have to go in the water? Okay, I guess so.
And now, what next?
You go and stand next to Cheep Cheep again. I'll call you if I need any more help.
Okay.
Help in
I'll
quotes.
put the fish into the bucket. At least it'll have a bit of water in there.
Okay, great. So I ended up... Did I actually get a
The
fish?
fish that Wilbur caught and I lugged up here is swimming around in the water.
Great. Let's put that in the alcove of water. Well, let's come over here. Which one's the alcove of water?
This is the alcove. Creature of fire is...
No, so it's this bottom one here, right?
There's no doubt that the fish is a creature of water.
So fish... Okay, so we have worms in earth, fish in the water one.
There's no doubt that the fish...
We need to get these fire fairies for the creature of fire thing. So...
Those are fire fairies. They're very rare. I haven't seen any for 200 years.
Now, apparently the fire fairies and the bees were fighting over the honey, so the fire fairies like honey. Maybe I can lure the fire fairies with the jar of honey.
The fire fairies are cautious. They're keeping away from me.
Put it onto the ledge.
This could work. The intellectual capacities of fairies are completely overrated.
So they come in.
Come on, lovely honey.
There comes a fire fairy. Gotcha.
I've gotcha.
I said the same thing as her.
I'll leave the lid open slightly so the fairy can breathe.
Well, that's nice. So now we put the fire fairy jar in the creature of fire alcove.
I think one could call this little beastie a creature of fire.
No question.
The fire fairy is knocking against the glass. I feel so sorry for her, but she's the only creature of fire that I can find here. The fire... There's no doubt...
Now we
I've
can
put several
convince...
worms into the little alcove.
Hopefully now we can convince Cheep Cheep to get into his alcove, and they'll be all four done, and maybe that'll unlock the door.
I can manage perfectly well on my own.
So we will talk to Cheep Cheep about getting into the last alcove in the next video. That's all the time I have for this one. Thank you for watching Josiah Plays the Book of Unwritten Tales. I'll see you next time.